confluence would really represent the balance. You're in a confluence state when you're in a balance of work life. And in other words, work and life could be the husband and the wife also, the yin and the yang. So you have work and you have life, and confluence is the balance between those two, or the harmonious meeting of the two. One's not consuming the other, but
Yes.
confluence would be representative of a nice balance between the two.
And actually, because it's one or more bodies of water, you've got your home life, you've got your work life, you've got God, you've got the balance of a whole being, and that whole being, technically one person could be that larger body of water, because we have so many things in our lives that add to our lives. And so confluence is the flowing together of everything. And sometimes there's that dirty water that comes in there too. And that's okay, because when it gets into the larger body, it cleans up, it cleans out, and it works. It just works.
And so speaking of working, so let's talk about some tactics. Okay, so what's something that an agent over the next 2 weeks, that's a task-oriented deal that they could, check the box on and move a little bit closer towards a confluent state in their business?
The first step is to embrace the idea of coming together with another body of water. And the way that when I first started embracing the idea of confluence, one of the things that I did was I started reaching out to people that I hadn't talked to in a long time, people that had a birthday. I would call them and tell them happy birthday instead of just sending them a text. And so really the start of confluence is opening your mind to communication. And once you are open to more communication with everybody and anybody, then the collaboration will come naturally. And so the first step in confluence, of course, is to start opening up your mind.
And you would do that like an actual something I could do to apply that would be maybe call, you'd say 20 people from my database I hadn't talked to in a while, or something like that.
Exactly. And also, if you've got any transaction going, set yourself a schedule that says, I'm going to communicate better with these people. And I'm going to communicate on Wednesdays. I'm going to communicate with all of my buyers. On Thursdays, I'm going to communicate with all of my sellers. And Fridays, I'm going to communicate with the realtors, whatever works for you. But the setting a rock solid plan to open up the communication is the first step of collaboration, and therefore the first step in confluence.
So then what would be the second step?
The second step would be to follow through. And that's a tough one to do if you're used to being the lone wolf. Is you've got your schedule now. So the second step is to actually follow through with that and to maintain that. And then call me and I'll be happy to walk you through the rest of it, because the first steps are the hardest, is to get yourself a schedule and then following through with it. And
what are some ways that people can set themselves up for success when it comes to following through? Are there any tips, whether it's productivity, time management? What are some things that you could share that would allow people to succeed on step 2?
There are definite time blocking training classes that would be a very good idea to check out. I have a time blocking pamphlet that I followed to begin with, and now I set alarms in my phone. Every morning I wake up, and I have alarms that I actually turn on to remind me, go do this, go do that. It's time to switch. It's not just a reminder in my calendar, but I actually go steps farther on important things. Now, the reminders in my calendar, those help too. When on my calendar on Wednesday mornings, I've got call buyer A, call buyer B, call buyer C.